Salutations, creeps. How y'all doing on this gloomy glum weekend? Oh, maybe when you're listening to this, it won't be so gloomy and glum, but it's gloomy and glum right now. I know some of you are probably wondering, huh? His office hours aren't on Saturdays. What? No, it is not a mistake. I'm here to discuss something which I have just experienced, and I'm not going to be able to really go at length with you about until not this coming Tuesday, because I'm going to be talking about The Predator this coming Tuesday. That's what I'm recording right now, but I'm taking a little break to give you this. Because I just saw a little movie that I've been waiting to see since, March? March? Is that when Sundance Film Festival was? Well, whenever the Sundance Film Festival was. But I've been waiting to see this little movie called Mandy, which is supposed to be putting Nicolas Cage back on the map, and directed by Panos Cosmatos, I think his name is, who directed this movie Beyond the Black Rainbow, which I was an enormous fan of that I saw a few years back. And, well, it just seemed like, somebody put chocolate in peanut butter again. So, since I won't be able to speak with you at length about Panos or these movies or Nicolas Cage and everything for like another 10 days, I figured I'd come here with a little brevity to give you my 2 cents on this film, which has just come out and is out actually on VOD. All right, like I said, second weekend of September. So, I don't know. There's a lot to cover, and that's why it kind of sucks that I'm not going to be able to talk to you too much about this for a little while, but that's why I have to do this right now. Because, like I said, I'm recording next week's episode of the podcast on Panos Cosmatos. Namely, his new film, Mandy, and the debut, Beyond the Black Rainbow. It's going to be a little double feature that you should probably have before listening to that episode. So, this is a little warning for that, too. Just a little reminder. But since it seems like everyone, like I said, Mandy has so many people in a tizzy and so many people have been waiting for it, so like me, since Sundance, I figured I would drop this off on you early. So first off, don't really worry about seeing it in theaters. I didn't see it in theaters, so I guess I can't really tell you one way or the other, but neither can people that are saying to you, you have to see this in theaters. Because, they didn't watch it at home. And because if you're in an area like me where it's only playing literally, the closest theater that's playing it to me is 45 fucking miles away. And it is only playing at fucking midnight. And no one wants to see it with me. So sometimes VOD is honestly the best option. I got a nice Bose sound stick. I got a nice fucking 62-inch TV. It's fine. If you have a nice setup, you're fine. Because you're about to watch an avant-garde John Wick. It would have been amazing in front of a big screen, but, like I said, the theaters aren't really giving us amazing options, and, I don't know, home theaters are becoming more like theaters now anyway. Anywho, Mandy takes place in the Shadow Mountains in 1983 AD, and it follows Nicolas Cage, who is a lumberjack, who lives in a cabin in the woods on a lake, Crystal Lake, ironically, with his wife, who is an artist and, clearly the love of his life. They have some very nice, gushy scenes together. They live an extremely simple pastoral life together that I couldn't imagine anyone being discontent toward. And director Panos refers to it as, let's see, this is his quote. It's kind of like a Dungeons & Dragons module that exists within that sort of contemporary Pacific Northwest. The artifacts that exist in the film that they use, the power totems. Me and Aaron, who was the co-writer, actually wrote character stat sheets. Nobody ever saw them, but we had character stat sheets for everyone. So it's one of those movies where there's not a whole ton of description through any of the dialogue, but there's just so much to take in visually. I'm definitely going to be watching this again at least, probably, maybe 2 or 3 times more before I make my podcast on this. So, this whole thing just winds this puppy up to go as bad as you think things possibly could with how nice things are in the beginning. To create a revenge story I haven't been so invested in since probably the original Mad Max when I was when I saw that for the first time when I was 13. I really can't think of any other revenge movie other than that's the original Mad Max is the ultimate revenge story for me, because you literally get a whole fucking a lot of people think it's boring because you get that whole first hour of him with his family, but I think that just makes the build up to him fucking just losing it, and there being no reason for him to be civil or human or anything like that anymore after his family's gone. I think that the longer you draw it out, kind of the more primal you feel towards the kills, the more you can connect with the person because you can see what they've had taken away. Alright. Keep in mind that if you've not seen Beyond the Black Rainbow, this movie's gonna be fucking jarring. And I know a lot of people are saying how trippy it is and whatnot, but I mean, acid is a lot less unnerving an experience than watching either of Panos' movies. It's not one of those movies about being on a drug trip you're gonna watch while being on a drug trip. I mean, the only movie that really works for, I think, is Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I mean, this is an amazing movie. Definitely the best thing I've seen Cajun since Werner Herzog's Bad Lieutenant. And it's somehow more intense. I repeat, this one is not for the faint of heart. So if you are a truly squeamish individual, you get triggered by things, sometimes you gotta shut a movie off, you should probably save your money and anxiety on this one because it is fucked up. And it doesn't really elicit any pleasant feelings for the audience towards the end. Like, the beginning, it has some pretty nice moments, but once it gets going, it fucking is like falling off a cliff in the best way possible. I really can't stress enough that if anything a movie can do can trigger you, think twice before spending your hard-earned cash. This one is, like, very far from a feel-good movie. You forget what the phrase even means by the ending of this fucking movie. And as I said before about the fucking drug trip deal everyone's stamping on about and won't shut the fuck up about, you really need to check this one out sober for the first viewing at least, if you ask me. No pot, definitely no acid, no beer. I mean, that's just gonna fucking make you miss shit. And pot's just gonna freak you. Pot's just gonna make you notice too much shit. And this is not an acid movie, despite what everyone is saying. The movie itself has enough of an aura to make you forget about what sobriety is anyway. With the subject matter, the color palette, and the general bonkers ambiance of the story. You'll probably wish to remain sober for a little while after this, honestly. Or maybe you'd want, like, to dull down that blade that just stabbed you that went by the name of Mandy. The story really begins when the antagonistic cult conjures a group of motorcycle-riding demons to kidnap Nicolas Cage, a.k.a. Red's wife. And then, armed with a chainsaw and other weapons, Red stops at nothing to get her back, leaving a bloody, brutal pile of bodies in his wake. And yes, it is just as cool as it sounds when it kicks into gear. But as I said, with that coolness, like as so often in a good movie like this, comes a pretty hefty price. Because some of this movie, while it's so beautiful, is tough to watch. Like so many other beautiful films, like Blue Velvet or Holy Mountain. Holy Mountain's a beautiful film, but it's very difficult to watch. This one is I like this a lot better than Holy Mountain, obviously, but I think that's a good way to put it. That it is very beautiful to behold, but sometimes what you're beholding is beautiful and disgusting at the same time. Like that fucking god chick on the giant fucking toilet in Holy Mountain. Anyway, Cosmatos has this amazing knack for making his worlds feel so authentic, and yet having so many out-of-this-world events occur in them. I really don't know how much further I can go into this without ruining anything, so I think you'll have to just take my word at this juncture, creeps, and just wait until our episode Tuesday after next, which will be, a double feature. Because next week's is going to be a quintuple, quadruple feature discussion on the Predator franchise. So stay on the lookout for that. But after that, we're going to have a lot more detail and depth on Mandy and Beyond the Black Rainbow. So if you want to see it as of now, see it before that comes out. So you can join us and we'll have fun. I'll tell you that if you are interested, you will be absolutely smitten in Mandy. This one is going to put Panos on the map. Just you wait. I mean, Beyond the Black Rainbow gave him a pretty decent cult status, but I think that he's going to get some pretty big offers after this one. Mark my words, creeps. That big tubby Spanish guy has taken over the fucking world. He's a genius. Well, until then, all I can really do is advise that you go out and see Mandy before our next episode comes out. I really don't know any big major theaters that are showing it. I know Regal Theaters had an advanced screening at like 7 o'clock on the Thursday before it came out, but I'm not seeing any Regal Theaters playing it now. But you can go and get it on iTunes, or you can rent it on Prime Video. Fucking $5 on Prime. I think it's $6 on iTunes. So, I mean, like I said, if you're a squeamish person, then you might want to wait until you can see it for free. But if it's really something that has grabbed your attention enough that you feel like you need to see it, then you do need to see it. And it's well worth the fucking $5. So all I can really say is see it before our next episode comes out in 2 weeks on Panos Cosmatos. Until then, I'm gonna be back with you on Tuesday to discuss the Predator franchise and the new Predator film. Give you my 2 cents on that. And oh yeah, Storytime is coming out tomorrow. So don't miss out on that, creeps. Until then, Doc out.